Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over an email that was sent from a subscriber. This is from a guy, he looks like he's in his early 60s, and he shares his story about how he's been married not once, not twice, but 3 times to women that all cheated on him. Many times. And how this guy got married repeatedly after the first time, let alone the second time, I will never know. But he's older, he's old school, so obviously getting married is what you did back in the day. But here's the interesting thing, guys. This guy's also going to share what it was like growing up with his mom. And apparently his mom did the same thing to his dad. And so you're going to see here, guys, where I talk about all the time how it's so important. You know, your parents are your biggest role models and influences, whether you realize it or not. So it's very important to be in a household where it's a very loving environment. Mom and dad are normal. But if things are bad, it's always better they split up so the kids aren't screwed up. Perfect example here of that. But you're going to see here, guys, as I go through this story, this guy makes it clear a lot of the warnings that you hear through my videos all about getting married and how you really need to screen and vet whether you get serious with getting married. Otherwise, you could end up like him. But also, you're going to see, guys, at the end, he will somewhat come out on top because the lady he marries, this third wife, she makes way more money than him. And he now, eventually, you're going to see how he actually ends up having leverage on her, that now he can make out like a bandit because of her money. But we'll get into that later. So it's an entertaining tale, but lessons to be learned here. So he starts off, he says, "Hi, SSM. I'm very pleased you won your battle with YouTube. YouTube doesn't need to have a lot of rotten buggers in their ranks. Last week I was put in YouTube jail for a few days because of a video I did. Not the video, but a link in the video. Many of you guys know about this, but those of you who didn't know, and I filed an appeal for the decision, and I got out of YouTube jail a few days later, you know. So, but yes, thank you. It was an experience." He says, "I truly enjoy both your channels, both the SSM and They Did What. I also enjoy the payback stories. Now to tell you a little more about me. I was born in 1958. I'm the youngest of 3 boys. I also come from a broken home due to my mother's idiotic escapades. The divorce was finalized in 1967 when I was 9 years old. It was quite common for me when I came home from school to find my mother either on the couch or the floor having you-know-what with some random guy. Oh, that's real nice. Where the hell was Dad during all this? What was Dad doing? Was this after the divorce or before the divorce? I'm going to assume probably both. How the heck did Child Protective Services not take her away if you walked in on this stuff? Or take you guys away?" It says, "Believe it or not, her bedroom was less than 6 paces away. As you might be able to understand, I lost all respect for my mother and for women in general. Most women I've seen in my lifetime almost always remind me of my mother, so I stay away from them." Well, you're going to see in this story, guys, in this guy's story, that the women that he ends up marrying sound to me, as I've read this, a lot like his mom. So he said he likes to avoid women like that, but interestingly, he marries women just like that. So, you know, it's interesting. Guys, a lot of times guys end up with women that like their mothers or women like their fathers. That's why it's so important to have a good, healthy household. And so the boys can see the right type of mom if he indeed gets married, and the woman can see the right type of dad. So when girls grow up with dads that are not there for them, not very loving, they develop daddy issues. You get my point here. It says, "I've done the best to keep my hormones in check, but there have been quite a few times where my hormones got the best of me." Well, getting line broke is pretty much, there's not one guy here watching this video right now that hasn't been in that situation many times, more than they'd like to admit, including me. But we learn. He says, "Of course, I found out I thoroughly enjoy making love, but it does have its drawbacks, that's for sure. In the heat of the moment, after making love for several years with one woman, the marriage question comes out and you find yourself married. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to make light of this because it was indeed my fault for popping the question in the first place. Now, here's something that will or should make you laugh. I've gotten married 2 more times. Why? I get you were born in 1958. I get it was a different time. I know you're in a different country, but seriously. You know, the first time everybody can screw up and make that mistake. You don't know any better. The second time, but the 3 times? Ay. But it is what it is. At least your stories can help other young guys. Anyhow, he says, now don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to make light of this because I was indeed my fault for popping the question. Now here's something that will make you laugh. Oh, no, I read that part. He goes on, he says, of course, you're going to laugh and say that what the F is wrong with you, and all I can say is, I'm effed in the head. Well, you can admit it, and at least you have a sense of humor. Now, you have to understand, seeing what my mother was doing at such a young age truly traumatized me and has stuck with me all my life. It's what I said from the beginning. That's why I can't make it any more clear that for you guys that are married and you're in a bad marriage and you're unhappy and it's abundantly clear to your kids that you and the wife don't love each other and there's tension and turmoil, divorce. Don't stay in it for the kids like they say on TV or the therapist says to do, because you're going to mess those kids up. One way or another, they'll end up in marriages just like yours. Best to part ways and get a second chance and a clean slate so those kids have a chance that one of the parents can be in a normal relationship, or at least not observing all this turmoil. Or mark my words, that will happen to them, just like this dude. From the time I was little, I was taught that girls are made of sugar and spice and everything nice. Well, that's a steaming pile of crap. As you already know, girls are more of a pain in the ass than anything else. Yes, they are, but also if you let them be that way. They're always going to be a pain. There's always going to be drama and turmoil, but I got plenty of guys on this channel that watch me that do date, do relationships, do pickup, do all that stuff. And believe me, you can have girls that are cool, but there's always going to be a little drama. They're always going to test you. They're going to do these things. But if you don't take the crap, if you don't put them on a pedestal amongst these other things I say don't do, or the things I say to do, then you can greatly minimize a lot of shit. And also, gentlemen, the ability to walk away when they are getting out of line, when the situation is not in your favor. Most guys can't do that. They get themselves a good-looking girl, and they will put up with so much BS because of her looks and her body and her fun in bed. He says here, my first wife was a nympho, so no matter how many times a day we made love, it wasn't enough for her. Yep, when I was at work, she would service the needs of 2 to 4 different guys while I was at work. She was good at hiding it, but after a certain time, she got complacent and I was able to see her for what she was, a lying, cheating sack of crap. Yep, it took 2 years for the divorce to be finalized. You would think after that, never married again. And notice again, sounds like his mom. And I don't mean disrespect towards the guy who wrote this email. He and I exchanged a few messages, and he seems like a very cool dude, but I'm being straight with you. I'm always straight with everybody and honest, and I cannot be not that way in this video. I mean, it sounds like you married your mom. After many years of being single, my soon-to-be second wife was a nurse I worked with. By the way, it would be best to let you guys in SSM and they did what know, it's not the best idea to date someone you work with. I say that at least once a week, especially nowadays with today's laws. Never date somebody you work with. There's plenty of other options out there for you guys to date. Amen, brother. Thank you for reiterating that. He says, now, she was a control freak and a narcissist. This didn't come out for about 6 years into the marriage. She also started having affairs, so I filed for divorce, which was finalized in 3 months. So the second one was cheating, and a control freak, and other things there. And notice he said it took 6 years for her true colors to come out. That can happen, bait and switch. You try to vet them, you try to screen them as much as you can, but it happens. The third wife, now we're on wife number 3, is a doctor and makes 3 to 4 times as much money as I do. Now she is truly an evil woman. She is also a control freak and a narcissist. Are you guys starting to see a pattern here? I'm just being honest. Yep, over the last 10 years, and we have been married for 15 years now. She has had more affairs than Carter has pills, or another term would be she has poked more than a used dartboard. That's funny. I'd say her body count is quite high. I'd estimate her body count to be about 350 to 450 men. A, how do you know that? And B, was this before you got married or both before and while you're married? And why the hell are you still married with her, even though she makes all that money? Now, to answer your question before you ask it, I've had nothing to do sexually with her in over 10 years. So why the hell are you with her? She must make damn good money, dude. You will ask why I stay with her. Yes, it mostly has to do with vengeance. I'm not sure you already know, vengeance is a powerful motivator. Brother, I know quite well how powerful that can be. He says she makes, over 3 times what I make, so for once I got to mooch off her. I know this sounds terrible, but that's what I'm doing. Well, if she's cheating on you left and right from the beginning and you've been a good husband to her, hey, it's fair game. He says, I have a friend who lives next door to me, and he sets up security cameras and microphones to catch would-be thieves. I told him what was going on. He promptly offered to set up surveillance in the house for me. By the way, he did it at no cost to me. He also started seeing quite a few men coming and going from the house. It is true when one states bros before HOES. I have so much dirt on her, and by the way, she calls herself a Christian, which is a farce. If she was living in biblical times, she'd be stoned. I've shown her some of the videos and voice recordings and let her know if she tries anything such as a divorce, I will post all the videos and voice recordings on the net, or I should say my friend who set up the surveillance will, because he knows how to release the information anonymously, but the first very juicy video will go to her mother. This is guaranteed to give her a heart attack. Her mother is a witch, too. She's been playing nice for 2 years now, but I do know she still has the occasional affair with 1 to 2 different guys per month. Oh, only 1 to 2 different dudes per month? So basically this guy, he's got dirt on her, he's got evidence, and he says, okay, we're going to stay together, and I'm going to enjoy the money you bring in, but you try to divorce me? Okay, here's the stuff. Now, I don't know how the laws are where you are, but she may be able to actually get you on blackmail. I don't know how that works, but just be careful, sir. We can all laugh about it, but just be careful there. But on the other hand, why don't you just divorce her, and then since she makes more money, she can pay you a huge payment or something like that, and you can be free of this. It's not a bad idea, okay? And I know you enjoy the vengeance, but seriously, then just don't freaking get married a 4th time. He says, yes, I know, SSM, I'm an a-hole, but I'm sick and tired of all this BS she's pulled on me. This is not your typical payback or revenge story, but it's what I decided to do. Okay, well, it's your life, bro. I would handle things differently, but we can all get a laugh about it. He says, okay, I'm not looking for you to do a video on this, but I do hope you will be more vigilant in educating these guys who watch your channels to pay more attention when it comes to women who are trying to get them to marry them. Bro, that's what I do. I try to help guys in many, many different things, but that's what I'm doing. I talk about marriage all the time and really screening people before you get serious with them. And I warn guys all the time. And yes, you gave me permission to do this story. I emailed you. You know this. He says, women in this day and age are truly vile creatures and will do their best to take advantage of these guys that are young and dumb and full of cum guys. To be more than careful. Yes, there are quite a lot out there like that. He says, thank you for your time, and again, I'm not looking for you to post this story. Cheers. Well, I posted the story anyway. You said I could do it. But anyhow, guys, perfect example about growing up and the household, and people end up, men marrying women like their moms, women marrying guys like their dad. So it's so important, guys, especially you married guys, things are going bad with a wife, and you're unhappy, just end it. Because otherwise the kids can end up in a bad situation just like that. You don't want that for your kids. And also, example, guys, is how you can also, how people certainly have a type they can be attracted to. This guy married 3 different women, and they're all cheating left and right. And some people might say, well, what's the deal, dude? Are you being too nice to them? Are you putting them on a pedestal? Because he never addresses that. I'm going to guess probably not. But interesting. But nevertheless, in the end, at least now he's got dirt on this. If it was me, I'd end it. And say, all right, we're going to divorce on favorable terms. I got all this stuff right here. End of story, move on. But if he's having fun, just having her know this. But if she's obviously hooking up with other dudes left and right, 1 to 2 per month, as he said she's doing right now. If he wants to, there's no reason he can't do it. They're simply together and just he's enjoying the money. Who knows? But anyhow, guys, interesting story. That is it for today. Be sure to comment down below and know what you think about this. And guys, like I said before, you have a great story you want to share with me about your own personal life, something you've overcome, something very interesting. By all means, email me your story. Make sure it's well written. Also, if you come across a great article or story online, send it to me. If it definitely works, I'll certainly do it in the future. I get tons of emails every day, so if I can't get everything at once, but I will eventually get to them. Guys, and be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.